Hi, I'm going to show you how to play Runaway, the solo player roguelike survival game. The story behind this game is that you live in a cottage in the woods with your father and your evil stepmother, who is so mean to you that you decide to run away. And as we play, you will be following your journey through the woods, attempting to get away and start your own life. This is the setup for the game. In the middle, you have the forest deck, which includes cards that have different resource types on their back. Over here, you have your stats board with stats vigor, courage, and conviction. They go from 0 to 5. They all begin on 5. Resources are at the top here. There's 4 types. There's an animal resource, a human resource, a natural resource, and a supernatural resource. And those match the icons on the back of these cards. And then over here is the journey path. There are 3 journey cards. The face of these cards have story events, and in order to win the game, you must move your compass token along this whole journey path. And as you clear cards, you'll flip them over, and then you must do what the cards say and overcome the cards. And when you overcome all 3 of them, you win the game. Above them, you have doubts, which will get revealed as you encounter these question mark doubt tokens, and they usually have just bad things that will hinder you throughout the game. And then up here are the skill cards, and there's 2 on each pile for you to choose from. When you reach the stars, you get to choose one of those skills, and they will help you out during the game. And so that's the setup. In order to win, you finish 3 of the journey cards. But if you run out of cards in the forest deck before then, you lose. And if your conviction reaches 0 before then, you lose. I'm going to walk through a few example turns. You begin in the choose your path phase. The way you do that is you deal 2 cards like this. These represent the 2 paths that you can take, and we can decide based on the resource type which way we would like to go. At the very beginning, it doesn't matter much, so you get rid of one of them. That's the discard pile. You're not going to play that. This is the one you're going to play. And you take one of the resources that matches the back of this card, and you add it to your inventory right down here. You have 5 slots for your inventory. Once this gets full, you can't add any more, but you can drop these at any time if you want to make room for a different resource. That's the end of the choose your path phase. Now it's time for the face your fate phase. You reveal the card that you decided to play, and this card is the ominous blackbird. Mother always said blackbirds were a bad omen. Lose conviction equal to the number of face-up doubts you have. That is a bad card. Not all the cards are bad. Some are good, some are bad. Many of them will affect your stats. In this case, you have 0 face-up doubts, so luckily nothing happens and we can ignore it. That's the end of the face your fate stage, and so this card gets discarded. And now we are on the last phase, which is the catch your breath phase. And during this phase, if you want to, you can heal. We don't need to because our vigor and courage is full. But if you had an animal resource, you could discard it to gain 1 vigor. Or if you had 2 natural resources, you can discard it to gain 1 vigor. You can only do that during the catch your breath phase. Let's move on to the next turn. So we do choose your path. We deal out 2 cards. Now this card with the compass on the back is a special card. That's a card that lets you play, move it along the journey path. Let's decide to play that one. So we discard this. We're going to play this one. When you choose to play a discovery card, what you do is you take your compass token and you move it to the next available slot on the journey path, which is right here. So we'll remove that. We will move the token up to that slot. And because we've uncovered this question mark, we flip the first doubt card. This one says, what if things get worse? Lose one courage when playing discovery cards. So obviously that is going to hurt us. Uh, that's the end of the choose your path phase. And now it's time to face our fate. So we have the discovery card. We're about to flip it over to play it. And our doubt says that we're going to lose one courage when playing discovery cards. So on the courage, we just slide that down one. Unfortunately, our doubt is already hurting us. And now we can turn this over and do what it says. Discovery cards tend to be a larger impact to the game than the cards with the resources on the back. They are sometimes good and sometimes bad, so they're always risky to play, but they're the only way to advance along the journey path. This particular one is actually a very good one. This is the imaginary friend. A friend in need is a friend indeed. This is a companion, and so some cards, like this one, will stay with you throughout the game until either it says that you must discard it for some reason. Like this one, for example, says if 0 journey cards are face up, gain 1 conviction each turn. If 1 journey card is face up, gain 1 courage each turn. If 2 journey cards are face up, gain 1 vigor each turn. Discard when 3 journey cards are face up. So we'll put it right up here. It stays with us. This is a great helpful bonus every turn. And this every turn is at the beginning of your turn during the choose the path phase. We look at how many journey cards are face up, which right now is 0, and we do what it says, which means at the beginning of each turn we'll gain 1 conviction. We're already full on conviction, so it doesn't matter yet, but that will be useful. And that is the end of that turn. We'll just do one more. So we start by dealing these. We do any beginning of the turn effects like this, which doesn't do anything right now, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to decide to play this one, which is an animal card. I get to take the animal resource for doing that. And now I'm going to go ahead and flip it. This says Songbird. Keep this card, discard it to ignore a human explore card's effect. So we'll put that one up here as well, and we'll just be building up some cards that stay with us. You'll have maybe like 3 to 6 cards throughout a normal game that you build up, and you just have to remember to check those effects and also be sure to check your doubts and your skills to see what the current variations to the rules are. And that's the basic way you play. Now I'm going to fast forward and show you what would happen when you clear one of these cards. So let's imagine that you've played a few more of the cards that have the compass on them, like this. And each time you play that, you would move your compass forward. In this case, we would discover a star. So that means you get to look at your 2 skills and choose one of them. We have the Thrill Seeker, which is free to use, gain 1 vigor when playing discovery cards, or bravery, cost to use 1 animal resource, gain 1 courage. I'm going to use that one, discard the other one. Now skills, you can use them at any time as long as you can pay the cost. And this says this cost is 1 animal resource. I have an animal resource. I'm going to use it right now. I discard the animal resource in order to gain 1 courage. And I go back up. So skills can be very helpful. You can use them at any time as long as you can pay the cost and they stay there for the whole game. Now let's fast forward. Imagine I got another discovery card. I would move to the next one. This is a resource, so I just discover it and I can take it and bring it with me. And fast forward again and move forward to the next card. So imagine that I had played a discovery card. Let's start the turn like this. Choose a path. I choose to play the discovery card. Because I've chosen it, I will move my token to the next card. I've discovered another star, so I get to choose another skill, and I will just go with this one right here. And now I've cleared one of the journey cards, so I flip it over. This particular card says Father. You cross paths with the woodcutter who works with your father. He tells you your father doesn't know where you went and is worried sick. Set conviction to 1. So I have to set my conviction all the way down to 1, which is quite dangerous. Remember, if your conviction ever hits 0, you lose the game. To complete this journey card, discard 4 natural resources as a bouquet for the woodcutter to give to your father so he knows you'll be all right. Upon completion, set conviction to full. So this is active now until we meet that completion condition. So we need to collect natural resources. That's the end of the choose the path phase. Now we move on to playing the actual discover card. Remember, when we play it, we lose a courage, so we have to do that. And we flip this, and we do what it says. Hole in the pocket, discard 1 resource from your inventory, lose 2 resource slots. And this is one that we have to keep. We lose some resource slots, so I'll just put these tokens on here to show that. We have to discard 1 of these from our inventory, and we can fix it as soon as we discard 2 natural resources. And then we'll regain those resource slots. So right now we can't use these. And then the gameplay would continue. We would do our best to gather 4 of these natural resources. As soon as we have 4, we can complete this card and then move it off. And that's 1 towards winning the game. Now there's just one other rule that you need to know. As you're losing your stats, there's a bleed over effect. So let's say we're on 1 vigor. If you lose 2 vigor, I can only take 1 away from vigor. So that leftover 1 goes from the row above it, and courage would have to go down. And the same thing happens. If courage reaches the bottom, the leftovers come away from conviction. So you want to keep your stats up. When you're gaining, they don't bleed over like that. If I was here and I gained 3 courage, I just go to full. I don't get to use that extra 1. And that's the basic way that you play the game. I hope you check it out. It's a lot of fun. Thank you for watching.